Now, it turns out people are not happy with the congressman that saved Trump Care. This is Congressman Tom MacArthur. Now, he recently held a town hall in some not-so-friendly territory. This is the 3rd District of New Jersey. Now, in this district, and I have to give him a little bit of credit here. Now, this constituent, or I'm sorry, this district had 90% of his constituents that voted against him. Damn. And most of the constituents, I believe 91%, voted against Donald Trump in the election. So this was not very friendly territory, very unfriendly territory. So I do have to give him a little bit of credit for actually showing up, because unlike most Republicans don't show up to their, or haven't been showing up to their town halls because they're afraid of reasons such as this. Now, that's where my credit ends, because after all, he did vote for this horrendous piece of legislation called Trump Care. And he also came up with the amendment to allow people to be charged more if their coverage lapses. And also, if they live in states that opt out of the protection for people with pre-existing conditions, known as the community rating, that would also, unfortunately, remove protections for people with pre-existing conditions. Now, because of that and other the horrible things in this bill, his constituents in this area took him to task. Now, I'm going to focus on one. His name is Jeff Ginter. And look, he has taken the internet by storm with this epic rant. So I'm going to show you some pieces of this, and I suggest you check out the whole video. But I'm going to take some pieces. I'm going to do some commentary on it. And then, well, we'll show you where this leads.
In March, you told us that you practically broke your arm patting yourself on the back for not voting in January to just eliminate the ACA. You told us that that was because you didn't think that healthcare could be solved in a couple of months. It's too complicated. It took you 3 weeks. 3 weeks to go from it's too complicated and it can't be done quickly to I've got a huge pile of excrement here that is a horrible mess of a bill that 17% of the population wanted, that the CBO said was going to kick 24 million people off of health insurance. 3 weeks, Congressman. 3 weeks, Tommy boy. That's all it took for you to go from I'm not going to do it that quickly to I've got a yes vote in my pocket and I'm going to use it. They took that vote off the bill because they knew that it wasn't going to pass. I thought, thank God. Thank God. We're not going to have to do that. It took a couple of days, and a couple of more days, and then suddenly we got the MacArthur Amendment. Congratulations. You're in history now. You're in the national spotlight. And that's one thing I want to talk about, the national spotlight. You keep talking about all the constituents that you have to adhere to. And over in this county, they believe one thing, and over in this county, they believe another thing. And you're trying to thread that needle. Well, you haven't threaded it at all. Everyone that is going to be losing from this, you have not addressed.
Okay, look, I already love this guy. So he's pointing out the hypocrisy of this bill, right? So, oh, no, healthcare is complicated, they told us. And then suddenly, we're going to ram this thing through as fast as we can. You know why? Because it's actually not healthcare. This is a giant tax cut for the rich. And they wanted to ram this thing through before the CBO could score it and tell everybody how awful it is. So it's a tax cut for the rich. And of course, that doesn't get addressed enough. But what is going to get addressed, and by this guy, and he does a wonderful job doing so, is how much it actually is going to hurt people, especially families that are not fortunate enough to have good health insurance or money.
What's your question?
Oh, we haven't even begun. I'm not done with you yet. I got the mic, and I'm not going anywhere. Turn off the power. I got a very loud voice. This ain't over yet. My wife was diagnosed with cancer when she was 40 years old. She beat it, but every day, she lives with it. She thinks about it. Every pain, every new something going on somewhere, is it coming back? Is this cancer? Do I have it again? Is it going to kill me this time? Is it going to take me away from my children? Speaking of which, my children both have pre-existing conditions from birth. One cardiac, one thyroid. You have been the single greatest threat to my family in the entire world. You are the reason I stay up at night. You are the reason that I can't sleep. What happens if I lose my job? I'm very fortunate, sir. I have a really good job, and I have really good health insurance. If I lose my job, we can't afford COBRA. We can't afford to get private insurance. We get it from my employer. If I lose it, it's gone. If I lose my job on a Monday, if I'm lucky enough to find a job on a Tuesday, which never happens, they will not have insurance ready for me. I will not be eligible for 3 to 6 months. If I lapse my coverage within 63 days, suddenly I'm in a high-risk pool. My pre-existing conditions, which I don't give a shit about, come after me. Come after me, I don't care. But you came after my wife. You came after my kids.
And that's exactly what they did. That MacArthur Amendment would come after the people like that with pre-existing conditions. You lose your job. This guy's absolutely on it. He's right. You lose your job, it does take more than 63 days to get insurance through another job. It's another way to screw you and put you into those high-risk pools where you end up paying a ton more. So this guy is, again, this guy knows what's going on. He is woke as fuck. Now, this is also like what Jimmy Kimmel was pointing out, that he got a lot of heat for and a lot of credit for. Without his insurance and without his wealth, because, again, he admits, he's like, yeah, I'm super, super fortunate. I was able to afford to go to Children's Hospital, Los Angeles. I've got the money. I'm a very fortunate person. But what happens to the people who don't have insurance and can't afford this? Well, they die, or their children die. And it's all because of greed. But, of course, the Republicans and people who are, by the way, the Democrats that are also in favor of for-profit health care, well, they say, no, 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 it's all about choice. See, it's all about choice. It's like shopping for gumballs. It's like shopping for a house, shopping for a car. That's what healthcare is supposed to be like. Well, Ginter also addressed that point. And again, he's on fire.
They said it. They said that if we get sick, it's our fault. These are the people that are in your party, that you're working with. These are the people that came up with a plan that's going to kill millions of people. The CBO scored it. 24 million people off of health insurance. And they called that choice. Like we're choosing not to have health insurance if we can't afford it. That is insulting. That is detrimental to the mental health of us as a nation. But all of this, all of it, totally misses the point. Healthcare is not a good. You do not buy health insurance the same way you buy a car, the same way you buy a house. Those are already complicated things to do. I work in healthcare, sir. It is complicated. The only one that doesn't believe that it's complicated is an orange-haired buffoon sitting in the White House. And you're working with him to take something that he doesn't understand, that he won't be responsible for, because he's going to be fine.
And that's it. That's an excellent point. See, you don't understand. The Republicans and people like Trump, they don't get it. They don't understand this. And look, our president said, well, I never knew healthcare would be so complicated. That's because he's never had to deal with this. And that's the whole point. Trump and the others, they've never had to deal with not having enough money to pay for their health care. They have a health problem. They got all this money. They can go and just pay for it out of pocket. What's the problem? I go to a doctor. I give them a whole bunch of money because I have a whole bunch of money. And then they treat me. Why is it so hard? It's because you have money and they don't. You don't have to weigh between paying the house payment or getting a cancer treatment, or keeping the lights on versus getting your heart medication that you need to survive. They don't understand that that's something that people actually go through in America. They look at it from their perspective, their privileged perspective, and say, well, I've got all this money and I've got great health insurance, either through work or, again, I've got a ton of money. I can just go into the private market, get every plan, any plan that I want. I've got all this choice. Well, Yeah, I can go and do whatever I want. I can get whatever I want. Why can't everybody else do that? It's because they don't have the money. It's because you don't understand. You are disconnected from regular people and what regular people go through. And that, of course, leads me into this final clip, which is, I believe, is my favorite part of this entire thing.
Health insurance as a for-profit business is immoral. When I am drowning and you insist that I pay before you will save me, that is immoral, sir. Completely. You have no legs to stand on. You want to make money off of me. If you're in insurance, you want money off of me. And the reason that it's not going to go to single payer is not because you don't believe it. It's because you know that the insurance companies have a powerful lobby and they would decimate you. Donald Trump has woken us up. 30, 40 years. And we have been slowly going to sleep. Just watch your reality TV. It's American Idol on at 8 o'clock. That's what's important. That's what they want. No more. I don't want to hear your response. I'm not interested. I've heard it already. I heard it in Waretown. I've been watching you on TV, and I read the bill that you sponsored. I read the one that you were willing to say yes to. I know exactly what's going on, Congressman. I'm not an idiot. I see it. Everyone here knows what's going on. Everyone in the country knows what's going on. You owe it to everyone. Your fundamental principle is flawed. I don't have any choice with an insurance company. I have no value to an insurance company. I can't do anything to their CEO. I can't do anything to their employees. Nothing. I can argue till I'm blue in the face. But a single payer run by the government, oh yeah, it's got problems, but it's also got elections, and you're going to find that out in 2018.
Because you can't, I'll do it for you.